Hello and welcome to this live on lucid dreaming. So, we know that we sleep 1/3 of our lives, and if we would be able to do that lucidly or to sleep with awareness, in reality, that would mean that we could stay awake for our entire lives. And that is one of the things that is very exciting about lucid dreaming. But also, neuroscience is confirming today that our brain develops 15% more brain activity in the dream phase than in waking life. And it's also possible with lucid dreaming to intervene and change physical reality and also change our physical body. So now in the coming half an hour, more or less, we will go into some questions that you have sent in regarding lucid dreaming and go into what lucid dreaming is and how we can start experiencing lucid dreaming for ourselves. But first, my name is Celestina Kalea, and I am the teacher of lucid dreaming in the School for Awakened Dreamers in Damaner. And I have been a lucid dreamer since I was 3 years old. That was when I had my first lucid dream. And in the last decade or so, I have been teaching other people how to awaken lucidity within their dreams and within their everyday life. And if you're interested in everything regarding dreaming, lucid dreaming, or dreaming in general, because this is a huge topic, I invite you to subscribe to our newsletter that you can find through the link in the description, because we send out weekly interesting newsletters about dreaming and about how to go deeper within our dreaming and to use dreaming as a path of spiritual awakening and of personal development in general. And also for this occasion, we have a course coming up, our main course, which is called The Power of Dreaming. And this is the first course before entering into the School for Awakened Dreaming, which is a 3-year path. And we have that course coming up the 25th and the 26th of January 2015. And it is a live course on Zoom, so it enables anyone all around the planet to participate. It's a very exciting course where we go very much deep into dreaming, what it is, and how you can start using dreaming really to empower yourself and to empower your life. And if you're watching the recording of this and this date has already passed, don't worry, because we have constant courses like this, so you can still enter through the link in the description and visit any future editions of this course. And thank you so much for everyone who has written all the questions. So today the formula will be that you guys, you have sent in a lot of questions regarding lucid dreaming and what you're interested in knowing when it comes to lucid dreaming. And if you haven't been able to send any of your questions in, please comment in this video the questions and the things that you want to know more about, both in dreaming and in lucid dreaming. And in future lives, we will answer your questions as well. You can also email them. You will find all the information you need in the description below. But let's get into this topic, because there's many different questions that have been made, and I hope that you will find the answers interesting and stimulating to start on your lucid dreaming journey. So the first question is from a woman named Anna. And she says that I've had dreams where I felt awake but wasn't sure if I was dreaming. Was this a lucid dream? And I start with this question because this is one of the most usual and normal questions that I get when I start teaching lucid dreaming. And the very simple answer to this question is, if you don't know if you were lucid dreaming or not, it was not really a lucid dream. Because when you are lucid dreaming, when you become fully lucid within a dream, that is the moment in which you have a kind of aha, I'm dreaming. And that kind of aha moment, it really sticks with you. So if you were unsure if you were lucid or not, you were not lucid. Now, with this said, you don't need to feel bad or anything, because in the dream school we also teach that actually lucidity has various levels. There's actually up to 6 levels with lucid dreaming. Perhaps there's even more levels, but this is what I have been able to extract from my own dreaming and from the studies that we have done together in the last decades through the dream school. And so there are states that are called pre-lucid dreaming or sub-lucid dreaming, in which you don't have really arrived to that kind of aha moment of lucid dreaming yet, but you feel that there's something off. You might feel that there's something strange, there's something that is not coherent with the waking reality. And this is similar to, the movie Matrix, where Neo, the protagonist, he starts seeing the white rabbit and he starts to feel that there is something going on and that this might be all an illusion. And this is very similar to these sub lucid states where we are still following the dream reality or the scenario of the dream. We are still quite caught up with what is happening, but we start to feel that something is off and we start to slightly feel that this might be all an illusion. And these, when you start having this, and many people, when I speak about these kind of levels, they say, oh, but this is something that I have very often. And this is very good. This means that you are on your way, on your path to start having lucid dreaming, that first aha experience moment, which is the most exciting because it coincides with the possibility to actually take choices within our dreams. Because if you think about it, before we are really lucid and we are just following the scenario of the dream, we don't really have any free choices. And something very interesting when speaking about lucid dreaming is that it really correlates, this is with all dreaming, to waking reality as well. If you think about it, it's only when we are in a complete state of present awareness where we really have the possibility to actually make a free choice. Because otherwise, when we're too caught up in life, we are conditioned, our choices are conditioned by our past. And this is the exact same within dreaming. And so this is something that science has also shown, that the more meditation practices that you do, or the more mindfulness practices or present moment awareness practices that you do, you actually start having more lucid dreams. So this is something that I encourage everyone who wants to start trying out lucid dreaming, except for some of the normal tips that people get from, for example, dream checks and reality checks and these things that we will speak about by the end of this video. Doing meditation before going to sleep, or having moments in your everyday life in which you practice mindfulness or present moment awareness, is something that enhances your ability to lucid dream, because it's like you turn on this little antenna from the waking state that then leaps over to the dream state, because these two worlds are very, very connected. And so these are the levels of lucid dreaming. And of course, we go much more deeper into this in our courses, but this is something that will allow you to still understand the vastness of this theme. So then we have another question, which is very normal, because this says that I once had a dream where I knew I was dreaming, but I woke up too quickly. How can I stay longer in the dream? This is something also people who start experiencing with lucid dreaming, when they first come to this aha moment, they get so excited that this excitement, let's say, it ripples from the subtle bodies into the physical body, and it wakes them up. And this is very normal, and it's still something to be celebrated in the Tibetan dream yoga, or the yoga of dream and sleep, where the Tibetans, they are using lucid dreaming to reach enlightenment. They say that we should always celebrate even the small wins and the small steps. So if you have arrived to a point in which you have had an aha moment and you have experienced lucid dreaming, even if you woke up from it, that's still something to celebrate. And it means that it will be much easier for you to start having your second or third or and so on lucid dreaming. But how can we stay longer in the dream? So first of all, we can train ourselves before going to sleep to tell ourselves in a kind of hypnotic state, because when we fall asleep, we go into what's called the hypnagogic state, which is a natural hypnosis state in which we are going down through into the alpha brainwaves from the beta brainwaves, where we are operating at normally in waking state life. And so when we are slipping into the alpha brainwaves, we're in a natural state of hypnosis. And so this is when we feel kind of tired and a little bit here and a little bit there. So it's like this sleep tiredness, not really wakefulness state. And in this state, we can tell ourselves that if I have a lucid dream, I will not wake up or I will remain calm. But there are also other techniques through which that we can work with, which is actually based on the fact of not losing energy when we wake up lucidly. Because normally, even if you are not woken up by the startle or by the enthusiasm of the lucid dream, what tends to happen for many people in the beginning of their lucid dreaming journey, but it happens to me as well still, it is that you become lucid and you decide to do some cool stuff with this, but then you start losing energy, or you're not aware of the fact that you're losing energy, but you start falling back into the dream scenario and becoming unconscious again. The the what is happening is that we are losing energy, and so we are going back into the dream scenario. We become unconscious again because of loss of energy. And so there is a huge training that we need, that goes on within the lucid dreaming state, to actually remain lucid and to continuously recuperate energy and not lose energy, because paradoxically we need energy to dream. And we have not said this in the beginning, but this is something that we always say in all of our dream courses and when speaking about dreaming, that dreaming is a journey through dimensions. So we are made of this physical body and then many layers of various subtle bodies. And there are these subtle bodies that are journeying through dimensions when we are dreaming. And this is something that we do naturally as human beings. And sometimes that we can do even this kind of journeying also from when we are awake. But when this is happening, and this journey, let's say, it requires energy. And so we need also to work on, let's say, our energy nodes when we are awake in order to recuperate energy. This is a big work that we are doing in the first year of the dream school. And let's see, because this is on the theme, this is another question that says that I struggle with recurring nightmares. Can lucid dreaming help me face and transform them? This is connected to the thing that I said before. Why do we even have nightmares? So our body and our subtle bodies, they are very intelligent. So nightmares isn't anything other than the fact that through our life, both through our everyday life, but especially in our past, we have gone through circumstances or situations that have caused a very strong emotional reaction in us. It can be fear, it can be shame, it can be guilt, it can be anything. And these very strong emotions create like energy blocks, like clogs of energy that through repeated actions and reactions to similar scenarios build up this energy and creates bigger and bigger knots. And in our dreaming state, when we are within our subconscious mind, what our constitution, our body, our subtle bodies are trying to help us with is to create scenarios around this, to heal this, and to be able to release this energy. And this is what nightmares are. So it's an extremely powerful thing, our nightmares, and we can learn a lot from it. And actually, my very first lucid dream when I was 3 years old was a nightmare, and a nightmare in which me as a 3-year-old was facing a kind of sense of death, or the worst thing that could happen to me, which was a separation from my family through an evil queen, and a very childish dream scenario. But in the moment in which I needed to make a choice of never seeing my family again or being turned into a frog by this evil queen, I woke up and I realized that this is not real. And that sense of this is not real, and I'm actually dreaming, and I'm in the bed of my parents, and whatever choice I will make, I will wake up within the bed of my parents. That sense of power that gave me that sense of recuperating all the energy in the fears that I had accumulated in my few years of life, of the fear of being separated from my family, it completely dissolved. And I did wake up in the bed of my parents with a huge sense of relief. And I never had those kind of dreams or nightmares ever again, and not even any problem with that within my waking life after that. So lucid dreaming it's a huge potential. It has a huge potential also of healing, which is another question that has come in that asks if it's true that you can use lucid dreaming for personal healing, and if I have ever healed something through a dream. Now, this my first lucid dreaming experience when I was 3 years old was a kind of healing. So you can really heal yourself through nightmares, and this is something that many lucid dreamers they have done, that they through their nightmares they turn around to the monster and they meet them in another way, they act in another way. And the fact of acting in a completely different way and facing your fears in a completely different way with courage, it reinforces a new set of behaviors. And to explain this, we need to look a little bit on the science of lucid dreaming, because there is a difference scientifically between when we are dreaming normally and when we are having a lucid dream. And normally, when we are dreaming in unconscious dreams, let's say, the centers of our brain that are active are the emotional centers, while the sense of self or the other centers of our brain are disconnected or they are asleep. But when we become lucid, when we have that aha moment of the fact that we are dreaming, our prefrontal cortex is turned on, and which is where our sense of self resides. And what happens here is extremely interesting, because normally when we are awake, we have a phenomenon within our brain that is called neuroplasticity. That is the substance that is passed through our neurological pathways to reinforce behaviors. This can be both in the sense of learning a new skill. So when I was 7 years old and was learning to play the guitar, for example, I would sit for hours in my room and to change chords. In that moment, my brain was reinforcing through neuroplasticity the parts of my brain connected to learning to play the guitar. But this goes for learning to drive the car or the bicycle, but even also in behaviors. So if you respond with the same behavior to a given situation every time, you reinforce that, and that becomes a habit that becomes very difficult to change, which is why also within the School for Awakened Dreamers in the first year, we need to work so much on these blocked energies that is created through our habits and through reinforcing a set of beliefs about ourselves and actions that are based from those beliefs. This is really how we change our life, the fact of becoming more fluid. And if you think about it, dreaming, the word dreaming, both means dreaming in the night, but it also means your highest aspirations in life. Because when we are dreaming, we really have the possibility to realize that we can be anything that we want to be. There's endless possibilities in what we want to create for ourselves, or even what we are as a human being. And so we really need to work on those we call crystallizations, the things that we think about ourselves that are reinforced by this set of beliefs. And we can do that a lot through lucid dreaming, because since we have the neuroplasticity working, because our prefrontal cortex is turned on and our brain does not know that we are asleep, we have this mechanism of neuroplasticity within a dream state. And this is extremely powerful. And it has been used also in many very spiritual traditions, for example, in the Tibetan tradition, as a way to become enlightened within your dreams. So this path of lucid dreaming to become enlightened for the Tibetans is really that you have the possibility to do your spiritual practices also within the dream, and with the help of neuroplasticity and being in a very deep state of trance, you could say, or hypnosis, because you're in very deep brainwave states, you have the possibility to become illuminated much easier. And this is a very esoteric use of lucid dreaming. But of course, this question of if you can use your lucid dreaming for personal healing, it's more, let's say, on an energetic or psychological level. And you can use it both through nightmares, as I said, but also you can also interact with your dream in extremely creative ways. So you can heal psychological traumas. This is something that I have been working on a lot with myself, but also with clients and with people who want to work with lucid dreaming really as a therapy form, where you can ask within the dream when you are lucid to meet the root cause of certain traumas, or the root cause of certain even addictions, physical addictions, or of physical diseases, and have a conversation with what is really going on with your subconscious mind and heal it when you're there, because again you have the possibility to interact and to change your physical reality through your lucid dreaming. So the lucid dreaming therapy as a way, as a form of healing both physically and psychologically, is extremely powerful. And you can, with one click on the internet, read case stories from people who have had miracles happen through even just one lucid dreaming session. And so, of course, then the question remains, okay, so how can I get lucid fast so I can do all of these amazing things? And we will get to that soon in this video. So let's see, we have a lot of questions. So I'm trying to select the ones that will be of most interest for as many people possible. Let's see that before we go into how we can get lucid fast, because I know that is what is on all of your minds, I'm just going to look at this question because it's fundamental. And this is a girl who says that I'm afraid of losing control in my dreams. How can I feel safe while I'm exploring lucid dreaming? Now, first of all, what is very important is to know that as human beings, we are natural dreamers, and we have a lot more power within our dreams than when we think. In our school, we sometimes do we speak about the fact that we are like eagles that have been conditioned to think like chickens. And this is really true to our dreaming, in the sense that even within our dreams, we tend to think less of ourselves than the reality. So we have a lot of energy, and nothing can really harm us in the dream if we don't allow it to. But what is fundamental to understand here is that there are territories within the dream field, just like there are territories within the physical space, there are in the subtle planes. And depending on which territory you are in, you need to act accordingly, and you can do different things. And especially here regarding your safety. So normally we are used to think about our dreaming just as something conditioned to our subconscious mind, which is also what psychologists like Freud thought about, or thought that all of our dreams are based within our unconscious mind. Within our dream school, we call our unconscious mind, or this territory, we call it our house or our own territories. And this is where we really can explore our subconscious mind, and we really can do these kind of healings like we spoke about before. This is normally also where nightmares that can be healed in this sense are playing out. So this energy nods and all of these things. But since we are energy beings, and since we have subtle bodies, and the universe is vast and infinite, we can also travel. And this is actually what dreaming really is. It is an interdimensional travel in between dimensions and time. And so we can also go out of our house, as we say, and meet other intelligences within this vast space, within this vast universe. And here we often say that it's important to be both cautious and respectful. Now, again, understanding that there's nothing that can harm us if we are aware of our power, it's still important to know that you have the possibility to interact with beings on different territories. And it's important to learn how to move and to learn how to recognize in which territory you are in. So yes, lucid dreaming is very safe, but it's very important to try out different things and to start having an experience and to feel your subtle bodies and your dream body, as we call it, and to have these kind of experiences where you understand where you are, and within even the first introductory course that we have coming up now, the 25th and the 26th of January, you will learn techniques to understand where you're in within your lucid dreams. So there are techniques to understand which territory you are currently in so that you can act accordingly. But normally, don't worry, the lucid dreaming and dreaming journey is wonderful, it's amazing, and it's nothing to fear. So to wrap up this live, what is the best way then to get lucid fast? We have spoken about something that is very underestimated, which is the present moment awareness and mindfulness. If someone is really interested in starting to try out lucid dreaming, I would really recommend to start doing some kind of meditation practice before going to sleep. Because when we go into this present moment awareness, we also slip into the alpha brainwave state, where we can also, before going to sleep, let's say, program our dreaming, and we can ask our dream to remember that we are dreaming. And this is the first things that are very important. Another thing that is extremely important is that we cannot think that we can have a dream path if we are not keeping a dream journal. And the dream journal is oftentimes, in my experience with students, the easiest thing to do, but the most difficult thing to do as well, because it's very simple, but it's not that easy. Many people, they underestimate the value of keeping a dream diary, but actually, the more you write down your dreams, the more you will remember your dreams, the clearer they will be, and the more lucid you will become. Because when you write down your dreams and you reread your dreams, what you're doing is that if you have normal unconscious dreams, let's say like this, and you're writing them down from when you're awake, you are looking at them from a lens being awake, and so you are putting awareness on something that has otherwise been unaware. And this process in time will of course allow you then to become more and more aware of your unconscious processes, leading you to lucidity. But if you would really want to be lucid like tonight or this week, I would recommend to do a kind of a lucid dreaming boot camp, where you use both these tips that I've given you now, but also starting with reality checks. So asking yourself if this is a dream while you're awake. So to program your mind and ask yourself the same questions while you are sleeping. But also another thing that actually works strangely well is to look at your hands. And the reason to why this works is because when you're looking at your hands, since you're in a dream state and everything is based in energy, there's always going to be a slight difference within when you look at something twice. So your hands, for example, when you look at them twice, they will look differently when you look at them first one time and then another time again if you're dreaming. And this is a code for you that you are lucid. Or for example, some people, they like to try to put their finger through their hand, which is also a fun way to see if they're lucid. But these are things that you can try to program. You can start doing this while awake and then see if this happens when you are dreaming. Some people say to look in the mirror. I would not do that, because there's nothing dangerous with looking into a mirror when you're lucid. Some people get frightened of it because what you see might not be what you would see in physical reality, because mirrors are like portals within dreams, just like doors, just like portals or other elements. So in reality, what is going on when we are dreaming is that we are journeying through different energy, let's say, territories. And the way that we interpret energy and the symbols, let's say, they are the conditioning from our unconscious mind. So the way that we interpret portals is through mirrors or through doors or through anything that you can walk through, even though you cannot walk through a mirror in a physical reality. But this is a way that we are interpreting these portals, and so I would not recommend that. But I would go on a lucid dreaming boot camp and try as many things as possible, but also to stay calm and to stay patient, because even though I've seen that people can have a lucid dreaming through these kind of reality checks and meditations, trying to program your dreams before going to sleep, and you can have it quite fast. But know also that lucid dreaming is something that you need to have some patience with. So I would not just do something for 1 week and then give it up, but try to stay consistent. If you're really serious about this and about your dream path, try to stay consistent, because the results that you can have are really amazing. And your first lucid dream will for sure completely change your life, just by the fact of the experience of being awake within an reality based on energy, because it completely shifts the way that we look at life and the way that we experience life. And it puts in question so many metaphysical questions as well. So I cannot wait for you to have this experience. And in rounding up, I remind you again, if you're interested in any kind of content of dreaming, going deeper within dreaming, you can sign up for free to our newsletter to get these weekly insights of dreaming, or you can also check in our course that will be held on the 25th and the 26th of January this year, 2025, or see future editions if you are looking at this recording. So thank you for being here again. And please remember also to write your comments if there was anything that you want to know more about, go deeper in, and we will try to cover this in the coming lives. So have a nice evening and sweet dreams.